Good evening, folks. Welcome to Isshinryu today. We are live. We're trying something new this evening, and we hope you enjoy it. This will be our first time doing this right here on Isshinryu today. We'd like to welcome you to the program and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out with the channel and the algorithms of the computer and how that all works. But tonight we've got a great program lined up for you. You know, over the past few weeks, we've been talking about the 8 codes of Isshinryu karate, and we had a round table at the end where we had the masters and the grandmasters come in and talk about the 8 codes of Isshinryu karate. And now we're up to the point to where now we've got to show and display the actions behind those 8 codes in action for self-defense. So tonight starts our first series. Isshinryu today presents the fundamentals of Isshinryu self-defense, part 1, and we'll continue with this series. Thank you, Mr. Becker. We'll continue with this series, and I have one of my students, my first black belt ever. His name is Richie Brian Hopkins, and I have him joining me this evening. He will be my uke or my attacker, and we're going to do things slow for a beginner so that you can the fundamentals of Isshinryu self-defense. So we're going to start with the fundamentals of Isshinryu and show you how you can make and use that to get yourself out of certain situations, or to help with your training. Sometimes when you're training, you'll do a move and you'll practice a move, and you won't really understand what you're doing with that move. Hopefully tonight will give you an understanding, and you may withdraw your own understanding, and that's fine. But before we get started and all that, I just want to give a few shout outs to start off the program, as we always do right here on Isshinryu today. The first shout out I'd like to give to our founder, Tatsuo Shimabuku. Tatsuo Shimabuku, thank you for your sacrifice, your knowledge, and sharing your culture with the American soldiers that sacrificed their lives so that they could bring it back to the United States so we could be here practicing it today. So Tatsuo Shimabuku, you are our first shout out, and the main important shout out that we want to remember every program. Remember, we must remember where we come from in order to know where we are going. And that serves true, especially in today's society. So if you're training in the Isshinryu system, you may not have a school close by. You may be in a remote area. Hopefully, these programs will help you maybe kind of be able to learn a little bit about the Isshinryu system as we dive into the explanation of the system, or the bunkai of the system. So our second shout out goes to our first generation students. Well, I want to thank you guys for number one, serving our country. Some of you gave the ultimate sacrifice and you didn't make it home. We're coming up on Memorial Day. This is Memorial Day weekend coming up, and we want to remember those that lost their lives in battle so that we could be here on a channel for this freedom. We want to thank you for that. So, but the ones that didn't make it home, the ones that sacrificed, they went into the service at a young age, 18, 19 years of age, serving our country, leaving their families, having to fight a war, and to remember the system and to bring it back and pioneer it to the United States as the founder wanted them to do. I've got to give a shout out to that because I don't know that I could do that. So thank you guys for bringing Isshinryu back to the United States and pioneering it to the United States. And then the second generation students, I want to give a shout out to you guys too, because you guys are the ones that the first generations taught. Y'all were their first students, and they taught you. And number one, they were just coming out for being students. Now they got to be teachers. And I know the transition in that myself of being this is my first student. So I remember having to call my sensei and say, what do I teach now? And he'd tell me, teach what you know. And I was like, well, I'm trying, but it's not working out too good. But seriously, the second generation students are the ones that really branched it out throughout the United States. And if it hadn't been for them, I wouldn't be here. So I want to give a shout out to our founder, our first generation students, and our second generation students tonight on Isshinryu today. Remember, this is the fundamentals, basic fundamentals of Isshinryu self-defense, how you can use this. And we're going to go through this at a real slow pace, and hopefully you can pick it up. And we're going to try to stay simple and not complex. It can get complex. However, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited, but I can't wait to dive into this and see how it's going to work on the podcast because I've never recorded this live in this sequence before. I'm usually just doing live classes. So, but with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to our co-host, Miss Rebecca Forrest, who's really done a great job of putting all this stuff together. I'll turn it over to her for a few announcements while me and Richie Hopkins, yeah, we back up and get set up and get ready to go for you guys. Okay? All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And everybody who is watching us today on our YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and Twitch. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for watching us here for the Isshinryu Today podcast. And like Sensei Kyle had said, excuse us if there are any audio or anything issues. It's the first time actually live recording from this area, which technically on the other side of the building is the skating rink at the Axe Hole in Lexington, North Carolina, and that's where our dojo is, Tuesday and Thursday night. So if anybody's watching this that is not in karate, who lives around the Lexington, North Carolina area, if you would like to train with us, stop on by Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Come get you 2 weeks free. If you come by, you can just tell them, hey, I saw Miss Rebecca on the podcast. She said I could have 2 weeks free. I'm giving you 2 weeks free. Heck yeah, why not? Okay, so we have some announcements. This is actually one of my favorite little thingies to do because this is helping to get people's events, their seminars, their tournaments, anything like that is to help get it out there to other people who may be interested in this type of stuff. I mean, who can't be interested in karate? Come on, guys and girls. Okay, so for the first announcement, June 15th will be the Body Armor State Games. This is let me take that out for a minute. This is a register online only. They do not have register at the door. So the last day for registration is next Sunday. I believe that is June 2nd. So if you guys or girls are wanting to go to the Body Armor State Games in Concord, North Carolina, just go to the ncsports.org and it'll bring up the Body Armor State Games. There's a couple of other little things up there. Click on the Body Armor and it'll take you down. It should take you to where there's a bunch of like different boxes, which are the different sports that they're hosting and doing. And just scroll down, do you see karate? Or, hey, scroll down, do you see taekwondo? Ladies and gentlemen, taekwondo, you want to go to the Body Armor State Games? Scroll down to it, click on it. That's where you register at. It'll also tell you the directions to the venue, how much it costs. But you've only got until next Sunday, June 2nd, to register for that. So just want to make sure we put that out there because this might be the last podcast. Well, no, one more podcast to advertise for that Body Armor. And that'll be it. It's game on, ladies and gentlemen. It's game on. Okay, so June 22nd in Maryville, Tennessee, Grandmaster Brad Hatcher, he is hosting a seminar with Bill Superfoot Wallace. Wow, that would be good to see. Very cool indeed. That will be held at 1403 East Broadway Avenue. You can go to Okinawa Karate Do Union inc wildapricot.org. Sorry, I had to find it. You can, as far as I know, their registration is still up. So if you would like to go and have a personal training session with a bunch of other people with Bill Superfoot Wallace, who is very famous, and if I'm not mistaken, he is actually one of Elvis Presley's. There ain't nothing like a hound dog. Okay, he is actually, Bill Superfoot Wallace is actually one of his instructors. So that's like historical. That's a famous type training. That would be awesome. Get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Get to it. Okay, Jude. Now, I'm afraid that I might butcher this name, and if I do, I am so sorry. I apologize. I will try to pronounce this the best I can. But July 13th in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. There is going to be Kazoko, and then it's ISAN Dojo. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I do apologize so much. They're having their first annual summer open traditional martial arts tournament. It'll be held at the Brahmin United Methodist Church there in New Cumberland, PA. The address is 228 Bridge Street, New Cumberland, PA. That is also a register online. You can look in the Facebook event and look up the name. It's KAZOKU, then ISAN Dojo. And when you find that in the Facebook events, you'll be able to find the flyer and all the information you need as far as when you need to sign up, when it's the last time for you to sign up, how much it costs, where it's going to be, any type of information you need, it's going to be there in the event. And one of my all-time favorites, September 14th, 2024, the Circle of Masters. I don't even need my notes for this one. This is hosted by Grandmaster Phil Little in Anderson, South Carolina. It will be held at 201 East Reed Road, Anderson, South Carolina. That is inside the YMCA. That is September 14th. If this is something that you ladies and gentlemen don't want to miss, please come. Bring your people. If you're senseis and masters and grandmasters, please bring your students. It's a very enlightening day. First part is going to be seminars. Last part of the day is going to be a fun tournament. Everybody splits up in groups, and you just get to get out there in front of everybody and judges, and you get to show them what you know. It's fun. We've been there before. We're going back this year, too. That will be September 14th down in Anderson, South Carolina. Right quick, I want to give a shout out to a girl that's one of our students. Her name's Tiffany Ward Jones. If you need some new merch for your dojo, you want t-shirts, you want stickers, you want flyers, any type of thing like that, look her up on Facebook. It's Tiffany's Dojo Designs. Look her up on Facebook because she can make it happen. She has made a lot of flyers for us. She's made hoodies, t-shirts. I'm telling you, the girl's talented. She can do it. She can do it. And also, if anybody, for everybody who's watching us from Twitch, welcome. Please hit the like button, subscribe, whatever it is that you need to do to keep updated when we're going live, because we don't do this 24/7, obviously, and we do it once a week. Maybe we can try doing it twice a week. I might actually start doing the announcements at some point in time during the week, so that way it's not taking up so much time here on this part of the podcast. But if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. That way you guys can stay notified. We're gaining subscribers on YouTube, and we're absolutely excited about that. We're gaining more people watching us from the Facebook page. That's what we want. We want more people because the knowledge that we're sharing is getting out to other people, and that's what Isshinryu today is here for, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to hand it back over to Master Kyle Carson and my buddy, Mr. Sensei Hopkins. So you guys have fun watching. I'm going down here.
All right, so talking about self-defense, as far as what you should do is we're gonna, and if you got a notepad and a piece of paper, please write this down so that you can remember it later time. We want to reach out to some people that may be in some remote areas that don't have a chance to really come across anything that could really help them, and they might be trying to learn the Isshinryu system. Well, we're going to start off with the fundamental basics for Isshinryu self-defense, which will be coming from our fundamental basics, which will be our chart 1 or our chart 2. Tonight we're going to cover a few techniques from chart 1 and some things, identifiers that you need to realize in self-defense. Number 1, identify. Identify the threat, identify what's happening, identify what's going on. But most importantly, identify your exit, getting out of trouble. as that goes. So, and then we're going to prepare. We're going to identify, and then we're going to prepare for the situation. We might get prepared to get it, might get it, and you probably will. We want to prepare ourselves mentally, physically, and then we want to spiritually be able to control our emotions while the situation is going on. And that's hard to do. That just takes time to be exposed to. So, identify and prepare. Determine what you're going to do. Either you're going to run, you're going to have to fight, whatever it is. Hopefully, you'll be able to get out of it. But if you can't, there needs to be certain things that you can't do, and that's what we want to talk about using the fund. And then lastly is execute. Execute these to your fullest capability and to areas that are going to cause enough damage for you to maybe get away. You have to call those deterrents or something. Okay, so the first move that we're going to work on this evening is, remember, identify, prepare, determine, and execute. You can't do anything about your attacker's position in the fight, but you can do everything about your position in the fight. And your position in the fight is everything. It's getting to that position is what we want to work on. Okay, so the first move that we're going to do is in our Isshinryu basics, which is going to be a right foot forward Seisson stance, right hand straight punch. I'm going to ask Sensei Hopkins if he'll step back on the back line, perform this move a couple of times for you, and then we'll apply some application so that you can get an idea on how to practice this move. If you're practicing without anybody, at least you'll have an understanding of what's going on. I'm going to step out of the picture for just a minute. I'll be right back in. All right. Right foot forward, Seisson stance, right hand straight. And one more time. Okay, so right foot forward, Seisson stance, right hand straight lunge. Notice a few key factors, and I'm going to put him at a 35 so you can see how this is executed. So right off the bat, I want to identify, we're going to work from zone 3 tonight. Zone 3 is going to be to where if he reaches out and checks my hand, that's our middle point from top to bottom between myself and my attacker. Okay, that's the middle. If he approaches anything past that, now it becomes a threatened situation. Okay, but we're going to go from this zone right here, and then we're going to close up to maybe zone 2, which would be probably right here, and then maybe zone 1, which may be right here. Okay, so we're going to discuss our first move in those 3 zones and different things you can use this technique and how you use this technique. The right foot forward Seisson stance, right hand straight punch. And the retraction off of that is the most important. You throw that punch and get it back, you may have to use it again. Get a call. We'll talk about that more on a later show. But tonight we're going to keep it simple as we start with the fundamentals. So the first movement that you're going to do is moving off center line with my right foot forward. And you'll notice that here he has 2 avenues of exit. He's got one on this side and one on this side, and they're at 45-degree angles. So if he did approach quickly, I could run and get out of there to the right, or I could run and get out of there to the left, which will be our second move, or third move in the chart, which is left foot forward, left hand straight forward. So when we're moving, I'm going to do it real slow first, and then we'll do it in some live action things. But just to give you an idea, identify the threat. Now, when he goes to throw a punch, I got to identify. Notice things moved. When he went to throw, notice the shoulders went turn, and he started to turn, which identifies that he's coming with something from this side too. So I need to prepare myself. So preparing myself is moving and getting my hand up for protection on anything that's coming in. Maybe this punch is coming to my face here, and I may have to boom. And I'm getting off to the side with my hands up here. I step my right foot forward like I'm going to run, but my hands are in this position. And then I chamber this to right hand straight punch back to the center. I stepped off center to come back to the center with a rotation into here, a rotation into the button, a rotation into the temple, whatever area that you choose or you throw is where it's going to hit. So as he comes full speed, bam, right there, boom, right on the button, right on that chin, and this hand is protecting my head. Now notice he didn't do that in the exercise because he just went here, but when I'm moving, I want to always protect myself with both hands up as I move off. See how my shoulders turn to match his shoulders? And then I use this torque to get that boom into that button right there. Drop the shoulder down, put the head up there. Right there is where I'm hitting. Right there. They can hit here, or you can hit where the jaw line hinges right here. But I want to cause enough disruption so that I can get here and get on out of there if I need to get on out of there, okay? In the zone 3, using the right foot forward, say something stance, boom. And I'm here. Now I got this punch. And if I need to come right back with this one, straight down this arm and catch, boom, right on that jawline with the other one, that's a possibility, okay? So that's with the one punch. So what if we had to use the same technique with 2 punches? So he threw the first punch, and now he throws the second punch here. Now I just moved off a little bit more by just leaning a little bit. So he throws the 1, 2, boom, and I'm here. Slide back to the good camera. I'm here, right here. Now his chin isn't an option, but right behind this ear and that jawline, I want to separate where that jawline connects to the face here. Bang! Right into there. 1, like that. Okay, and I'll turn his head so you can see. Right there. And all I have to do is, I don't have to extend my arm. I just have to turn my body. I went from zone 3 to zone 2. With that being said, as I run by to make my exit, boom, I've got this right here. So I've got mine, I'll do it real slow. 1, 2's a little bit further out. 3 turns over. 4 is my run by that I catch him with. And now I'm just going to hit to turn him, to bring myself back to his center. Boom, into here. I can drop him into this chokehold here and we're done, okay? So using that application, all in that. I told you it can get complex. Just want to kind of keep it simple. So I'll walk through that one more time so that you can get it. Number 1 block. Number 2 block is I lean a little bit more further out, keeping my hands up. When we get into chart 2, the way his legs are exposed, I could get a kick here. But here, I'm just going to turn my body right back into keeping this hand protecting my head, right to that jawline there. As I step now, like I'm going to run past him at my 45, I connect with this right here, this forearm or bicep, right across his, right in this area here. And then that allows me to turn here to get this choke into here. Now I don't want to take this straight on. I want to go to 45. And that you see his face, that's what you do. Do that choke at a 45. You pull him too. So putting that application into right foot forward, say something stance, right hand straight line. The next one we're going to go to is right foot forward, say something stance, right hand uppercut. So the same movement forward is just a different type of punch. Okay, so we're going to discuss that. We'll put 1 and 2 together. This was your first. This is your second. This is your third, and then this is your fourth. Okay, okay. So we'll get into all 4 of those. Okay, so your first move, I'm going to ask him to demonstrate that again, and then I'm going to ask him to do the movement number 2 right behind. Okay, so movement number 1 is right foot forward, say something, stand, right hand straight front. Movement number 2 is right foot forward, say something stance, right hand uppercut. Okay, so we're going to discuss the right foot forward, say something stance. Right foot forward, say something stance, right hand uppercut. Notice it's a little bit higher on the body. Okay, so we're going to take this from zone 3, and this may be a different punch. We'll use the other hand punch for this one. He can throw either one. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you both. So he's going to throw this one, and all I do is he closed really quick here on this one. So I didn't really get a chance to move anywhere. I just had to protect myself. I had to identify, prepare myself that I may get hit, determine what I'm going to do about it. Now I have to execute. This is more of a when I step now, I step after I make connectivity. Boom, here. Now I've got this uppercut. I chamber it right here, and it goes straight to that jawline again. Boom. But the idea here is to get behind his elbow. I want to get behind his elbow for other reasons, but here, if I stop short and I hit this, it will allow him to spin into me with a spinning elbow if he needed to, okay? But, so when I get behind his elbow, this uppercut stops that if I get him in the back of the head. I want to get behind this elbow on my defense here. So now when I step, boom, I'm catching an uppercut right there, straight up his shoulder line, boom, okay? That allows me to come back around this way, to the back of the head, into this. And now we go to a different choke, okay? All right, so that becomes, it's the same type of movement, but it's a different setup and delivery. And it's a different self-defense, if you will, as far as that goes, okay? So that's zone 1 or zone 3. We're going to go to zone 2 on this one, okay? So this is right foot forward, right hand uppercut, okay? What I'm going to do with this hand is here I'm going to hit his opposite shoulder. And what that does is that just steps him back just a little bit. Just hit this, boom, as I step. Now I want to get this uppercut. This hand hits on, drop you down, he's a little tall. This hand hits on this ear right here. This ear right here. It comes right behind that ear. And what I do is I pull this into this uppercut. Boom. Bang, into that. So the first move is the one to where I'm going to get here. Boom, I hit right there. Right? Yeah, he said that. So right here behind the ear, or right on the ear. And I want to pull him into this uppercut as I torque my body into this. And that's zone 2. That's in close. That's in this type. Okay? That's where zone 2 is. Zone 1, using it in zone 1, is we're here to here. Now, here's what happens. Back up just a little bit so we can get into come to me. I'm sorry. There you go. All right, my bad. This camera thing. So we're here to here. We might be in this position. We might have found ourselves, we may have been duking it out. Now we're both exhausted and tired. Watch his body weight and body move when I change stances. See him move forward. All I did was move I've got my right leg forward, and all I did was move my right leg back with my left leg forward, and it pulls him down. And that's critical, especially when I'm doing this uppercut, because when I'm here, or let's say left foot, then I'll put right foot. Either way, you can do either one, but it changes the weight. The person's body is almost the same as the weight. So here he's got added weight, I do too, but boom, see how it pulls him down? Now when I come with this uppercut, I grip the back of that head and bring that uppercut straight up this way. Now I've got him into this choke, a little pump handle choke from that side. Yes, it is. So all I'm doing here, as you can tell, so I'll back up. All I'm doing here is I've got my left foot forward. I change. I don't go forward. I just change my feet and that drop stays down. Scooping that head for that uppercut. And it's just a pump handle. So that's the pump handle choke that you can use to get yourself out of some danger, get out of there really quick. One that you can use if you're a law enforcement officer and we're engaged and you're in an interview stance here. One of the things that you can use these techniques for, and I'll do this side so you can see, is this elbow right here is what you want to get this to back here. Okay, so a right foot forward say-something stance, and like say-something kata where we do the opposite punch. This is perfect. We're doing it. We're just doing an interview stance, and I got to take this guy in. I know it, and I got to get engaged. I shoot straight through there, and then I just pump this up. So it's a good little technique that I can use to handcuff him or whatever. But doing it real slow, I'll do it to this side so you can see how the hand works. Is I shoot straight through with the punch. Down the punch comes to the side or over here. And then I just rotate it over. Okay. So using that, if you're working a club, you take somebody out, you can be looking this way while I try him and he's gone. Just pull his head back and he'll go where he go. Okay, I'll show you how I do that. I've got his arm locked here. I just pull his head back. Take it. So using those techniques, some of the jitsu parts that you want to add to it. Okay. And that's movement 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna ask him to perform those for you. So right foot forward, say side stance, right hand straight punch, left foot forward, say side stance, left hand straight punch, right foot forward, right hand uppercut, left foot forward, left hand. All right. Okay, so that's the 4 basic fundamentals. Moving on to the next one is we're going to move back a little bit. And we're going to take our right foot and we're going to step it back. I like stepping it out when I do straight back because I don't like going back. But this also gives us our back angles, our back 45s. Remember our first ones were at this way was our exit point. Now they're going to be this way, which is the back exit point. So this is this way and this is this way. And we're going to step back and notice how it takes me off an angle. And we're going to do a leg lock. And it's called a leg block, and then a right hand straight punch. But we're going to learn that this covers 4 corners of our body with this block, and this is crucial when it comes to self-defense. It's protecting all these areas. I see a lot of people just, swing this leg block down, but that thing really comes around in a torquing fashion. It's that punch. So if you're practicing this, you may want to try this. It's just to give you an idea. You may just shoot it down there. I don't know, but it should be a torquing action into the punch. Okay, so I'm going to ask him to perform that. Right foot back, left hand leg block, right hand straight punch, pull back block position. One more time. Good. Okay, so what are we doing here? Well, there's a lot that you can do, and like I do, I'm giving you some tools to put in the toolbox, and just giving you some ideas so that you get an understanding of why we do what we do. So let's take a double punch this time. Boom, boom, just like that. He's gonna do a boom, boom, and boom, boom. Okay, leg lock, and notice I got this one first. I went here, here. Now I'm going down. Boom. Maybe into a punch here, okay? So if I got the first one, if he threw that one first, it don't matter. This one's still here. Now I can rotate him out, and it's the same punch. Boom, into that one. But with the first one, he threw that hand first. So I did here, boom. And then I just rotated him out, my block becomes a strike. Right into the liver. Boom, right into there, okay? Boom. And that is called a old crap punching. So doing this real slow, we'll do with the first attack first. 1, 2. Notice the elbow block. And if I just shot this straight down, the second one is going to catch me right there. Okay? But with this going high, I get this elbow block. I just rotate this down as I'm torquing. Boom. Boom. Okay? And then I recall back to blocking position. This leaves me in a good position right here for a seatbelt. Take arm high, and this just seatbelt it down. A good sit, knee strap if I need it. So leaves me in a good position for what we call a seatbelt. We're going to go down to the ground now in our zone 4. Or, yeah. So, but this comes in with the punch, 1, elbow block. Now we come down with the leg block into a strike, straight punch, boom, seatbelt position, right in the play. Now we're going to go to that. Okay. So that's if the lead hand comes first. If that hand comes first, I just keep my block going across here and then down. That allows me to get the punch, and now I step in for a seatbelt to the backside. Okay? So either way, it's recoiling back the blocking position. Okay? So that's a leg block, straight punch, knee. If you want to add the knee in there, that's fine. Okay? That's from closing the distance from zone 3 to zone 2. If it started in zone 2, now this becomes a teeter tot, okay? We come one across. And that's just a straight across turn to be like, what did you say? Just a forearm strike across, elbow back, head down, up. So very simple, basic self-defense. And I'm looking at you doing it, but all I'm doing is I'm performing the technique. That's all I'm doing, performing the technique. And that's what I want you to learn from this is not so much the self-defense, but that is why we train. But how to practice this when you're by yourself. And then you can see that if you just use the technique, it will take care of itself. So we'll go back to that again. We're in this zone here. And I'm going to turn it just a little bit so you can see. There we go. What I'm doing here is I'm just shooting that straight up. Just straight up there. Straight across. Elbow follows. This strike here. Okay? And then this punch comes. You're there, wherever you want to punch. Boom. Okay? And then we can start chin toe driver. Boom. Okay, if we need to. All right. So just using that technique of that, using that full torque motion, moving off center. So since you said it was moving backwards, it is. It is. I'm taking the attack and I'm making it come to me versus trying to back out of something to where it's hitting me and knocking me out. All I'm doing is I'm going here. See where that's at? Boom, boom. Seatbelt. Taking him back with me. We're going to the ground now. If I rotate him over, it's going to hit hard and I'll be on top of it. Pound. Okay? The key is identifying, preparing yourself. I could get hit at any time. All right? And it's going to hurt. I got to prepare myself. That's why we execute and train the way we train. Prepare yourself, determine, execute. Knowing how to take the twisting of the body, the torquing of the body, using these techniques in those scenarios is what's going to save your life. Okay? The next move that we'll do is right foot back, left hand side block. Notice this is a protect all 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 corners are protected and they rotate back. So we're going to do right foot back, left hand side block, right hand straight punch, recoil back to blocking position. This defense here is going to be a more straight line defense. I'm going to show you how to have something straight on. One more time. Good job. All right. So that is right foot back, left hand side block, right hand straight punch, recoil back to blocking position. That's going to be a move that you're going to use in your first contest. Oh, say something. You're going to step out to the step back. You're going to do that same side block. Punch. And go back to blocking this. So in this move here, he's going to throw a punch straight to my face. Boom, right there. Boom, that's where it's hitting. Or he may be hitting at a 45, trying to bust that sinus cavity at a 45. All I'm going to do is here. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to knock that thing, boom, and then that punch is already there. The minute that comes. Notice this tracer comes up for my second move. When I step forward, this tracer comes straight down the pipe. Right there. Straight down. No question that. So the first one, boom, and that would be here. I just hit him there to give you an example. Okay? But both hands come up, boom. See how I'm here, my right foot's back, here, and this just extends, just like I'm playing rushing or a patty cake here with a punch. Boom. This hand stays high in case that other punch comes. It shouldn't after that punch. But then I'm going to step straight in and keep this hand here. I'm not going to go here and try to hit him. I'm going to do this punch here, boom. Keep my hands where they're at. Notice how I slid this foot forward so that I can bring this tracer, bam, straight on it. Okay, straight, right there, bam, straight to that jawline. I want to separate where his hinges are, so his mouth does this. Okay, all right. So the first initial block is boom, here. That comes straight, boom, 45, straight, whatever. But I just shoot it straight like an arrow. And then I just step and bring this straight across to there. Okay? That's what I'm doing. So this is what I'm doing slowly. Boom. Straight. Boom. All right? That's enough for this evening. I'm asking to demonstrate all those moves together. 1 through 5. Yeah, 1 through 5. And hopefully this may help you whenever you're doing your charts, giving you an idea of what we want to do is the fundamentals of self-defense. It could get a lot worse, but we just want to touch on some basic things as far as self-defense wise goes. So, Richie Hopkins, if you would perform those 5, and we'll bow out, okay? All right, guys, that's going to conclude our episode this evening. Isshinryu Today podcast, the fundamentals of Isshinryu self-defense, section 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you some ideas, open up some ideas, and hopefully we'll see some more channels. But remember, identify, prepare, determine, and execute, and then return home safe. All right? Yeah. Right?
Hey, here I am again. So if anybody has any questions or any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comments section right quick. We still have a few minutes left of the live podcast. And then I will post it up on screen if you have a question, and that way Master Kyle can get it right quick. Let me see. There is more detail that I will share when it comes to announcements later when I find out more details. But I've kind of heard through the grapevine that Kyle's Isshinryu Academy, which is located here in Lexington, North Carolina, has been nominated as one of the top 20 karate dojos. We were nominated by Grandmaster Jesse Bowen. Very honored for that. But as soon as I find out more details for that, we will definitely let you know in the announcements for that, because that is amazing. That is that's really exciting for us. My fundraiser where I had gotten inducted into the AMAA, which is the American Martial Arts Alliance. It is back up and running for about another 30 days. So if anybody would like to sponsor me for that, I am trying to get up there on one of those higher goal levels. That way I can make it to the awards banquet, which will be August 9th down in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can go to FUNDZAZR, I believe that is. It's a .com/Rebecca hyphen Forrest. Yes, it's FUNDRAZR, .com. I will leave that probably on the Facebook page, or I can leave that in the chats, and it should post after this is over with and done for today. But yeah, we're all excited. A lot of good things going on around here. A lot of knowledge being spread. And that's what counts. Like I said before. I'm getting tongue tied. It's about time for me to go. But all right, we love you guys. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe, slap all those little buttons that you can. Show us some love because we're here loving y'all by showing you, giving you knowledge. Hopefully that makes all sense. But all right, see Mr. Hopkins loving it so much he's still working out. Hi, Mr. Skeleton. I see you, Mr. Peterson. I saw Mr. Sadiq on here. Robert, Barb, I saw you guys on here. Glad that you were on here watching. All right, well, we are fixing to go ahead and head off of here. And we will see you Sunday at 3 o'clock. We will be back on our normal schedule Sunday at 3 o'clock. We will most likely be here in this location here. We will check and see. All right. You guys have a safe evening and a safe rest of the week ahead. Stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. We will catch you on the next live podcast.